what have been our successes? I mean, just for a little ray of sunshine, like at a,
know.
where have things changed?
So we started working with the Tamil Nadu government in 2020, when again during the pandemic, and I think after the pandemic opened up, and interventions really shaped up in Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu has now become the first state to have adaptive learning materials and accessible learning materials for every child with disability in their classroom. Their learning levels are getting measured. By the way, did you know in India, no, the learning levels of children with special needs are not measured at all.
I'm not sure I follow. If you can break
So,
that
for
down.
example, you have the evaluations, SWOT assessments that happen, the Nipun assessments that happen, the uh, which is that test which happens at no, even ASA for that. NASAS, yes. So those that happen. So whenever there is a child with special needs, it's just marked as CWSL. You don't test that child. So that's where we are.
There's no differential.
There's no
detail.
evaluation at all for that child. You just assume.
Oh, you just mark it and don't assess them.
Yes, you do not assess them. There is no learning data for children with special needs in India today.
That is
Absolutely ridiculous.
atrocious. Yeah. Okay.
And nowhere is it there. So Tamil Nadu actually became the first state.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm just hung up on it. Is it so that the numbers don't get skewed?
Yes, that is one. Secondly, the assumption that this child is not learning anyways.
Anyway, this is not.
What's the point? Yeah. Okay. So one is your outcomes are going to get reduced. So you want every child to become Nipun. The moment you start counting children,
the other children.
Exactly. And this is not just now. It's always been like this. You don't think people have the ability to be able to learn. When you don't see learning data, you would obviously it's invisible to you. So that's not a problem that exists for you at all. So for the government, there is no problem of learning outcomes for children with special needs because you've not measured any of them. So Tamil Nadu actually became the first state where learning outcomes were measured, not just in baseline and line, but even summative assessments in the classroom now have adaptive tests in their class.
Okay.
So,
which means that there is a differentiated test for.
Yes, there's a differentiated test for them, for the children in their classroom. Then it also became the first state to have a universal screening tool. So in Tamil Nadu, every child gets screened for health or disability risks every year.
When they're enrolled or
when they're in school, every year, the teacher screens the children. So because of that, early identification of children with any challenges, and there is then back tagging to the departments. There is ensuring that there is linkage to services. So a lot has happened, and for us that model, the adoption of all the work that we were trying to do in Tamil Nadu, has just shown how beautifully this can actually
play out,
make a difference.
Why do I remember something with milk packets?
Yes, so there is awareness messages which went on milk packets. So they had disability awareness, inclusion awareness messages that were put on milk packets.
Which I think is so cool because milk packets are ubiquitous.
Used by everybody, exactly. And then the education minister on Children's Day took an oath for inclusion. Every school then followed, and even now, and every first Monday, the oath gets taken that we promise to be inclusive.
How lovely!
Yes. So the intent was very true, not a tick box and not a check box. So that, I think, for us, it just showed the power of what a system can do, right? I mean, while we would love to take all the credit for it, we are only instrumental in working with them. There is nothing that we could have done without them. So I think giving full credit to the way the state has, and now not only at the primary, we're now moving to the middle school, figuring out how the middle school can connect to the livelihood, actually building that pathway with the government. So the intention is very, very, very true. And they really, I think they truly want to make the system inclusive. Right, and that's something we wish every state government actually starts looking at. And there are spots and bright spots happening in a lot of places. Delhi, I've just heard, I'm going next week to Delhi, and I'm meeting the inclusive education department there, who's also doing a lot of things. They're also doing a similar pathway, figuring out what happens when children drop out, what alternatives can be given. So a lot of state governments now are seeing that this is important, and there's a lot more learning that can happen. So lots of rays of hope that we are now seeing after, I think, 5 years of work in Tamil Nadu, and listening now to different things that are moving.